Hey guys, it's Reggie from Gunpla, New York, and I'm here to bring you an unboxing. But before we begin, I want to give a big thank you to Canadian Gundam for supplying me with whatever's in here. Just know that if you choose to shop at Canadian Gundam, they have a massive supply of Gunpla, Plamo, Digimon, Dragon Ball Z, and so much more with a flat rate $10 shipping fee all across North America. So if you want this kid or any kid that you've seen on our channel, please go check them out and tell them that the Gunpla Network sent you here, and we wish them a good hello. So before we begin, we got this unboxing here. Sorry, I got this new entertainment kind of lighting rig, and it's a little too small for full out boxes, but it does fit kit, so we're working through it. But beyond that, what we have here, I have very little hints of what's in. All I know, it's a very prominent Gundam and a prominent release from somewhere in the late 2000s. So I'm thinking either 00 or Unicorn. That's all the only guesses I have to go on based on the vague information that was given to me. But I'm excited, and let's open it up. Well, I was partially right. We've got a Unicorn Gundam in destroy mode. Oh boy, I remember. These kits were definitely one of the most talked about when I got into Plamo and Gunpla a decade ago. When I was getting into it, it was during the first initial boom of build fighters. And I was hearing so many things about the Unicorn kits, how some people wish they could transform, or they didn't have to pick between Unicorn mode and destroy mode. But the technology wasn't there. Unfortunately enough, though, we did get there with the real great Unicorn Gundam. Beyond that, let's open up and see what we have here. As we always do, we are going to start with the A-Runner, and the A-Runner is surprisingly a lot more gray than I expected. There's a lot more gray, so there's a lot of, I guess you could say, inner frame parts. You can have a very prominent yellow V-fin. I see a very clear red. It's looking orange, but it's definitely a cherry red, so I'm guessing that's cycle frame for the chest. I'm also seeing the backpack gear for the Unicorn for the thrusters with a very dark navy blue. So overall, I'm seeing a lot of joints and a lot of hands, and I'm just surprised. I'm so used to A plates being a lot more colorful than that. Next up, we got a B runner, and it is a runner that is going to be used, and I'm guessing from what I'm seeing here, I see the shield, I see some skirting, I see some headgear, I see some front skirts, side skirts, back skirts, some chest pieces. This is probably going to make up the bulk of the white here for the Unicorn Gundam. And it's definitely going to, it's like a chalk white too, so it's not like your typical Gundam white. It's just like very pale. Next, we got C runners, and here we are starting out with the cycle frame. And again, as it was showing in the A, on the footage, it looks like a translucent orange, but I promise you, in person, it's a much bright translucent cherry red. Think about drinking a nice red icy in a hot summer day. I see translucent pieces, cycle frame for the shield, chest, legs, and overall, I can see this brightening up like a Christmas light under UV lighting. It looks really great, and it looks very strong in comparison to a lot of cycle frame. The D frame is primarily weapons and thrusters. I see the beam magnum, I see the bottom of the feet, I see the ammo gauge for the beam magnum, some joints, and definitely a lot of thrusters, which are primarily going to be used in the backpack, and maybe some, from what I'm seeing in the middle here, probably some ankle armor too, so that's going to be interesting. Not a lot from D, but all the essentials that a Gundam would need. We're back with another pale resin. We're back with another pale plate on C, and it's just the other side minus the shield and the head. I see leg parts, I see the arms for where the tonfas would go. I see a lot of protruding pieces that would pop out in destroy mode. Again, it's that chalk white. It's very chalky, and it's definitely going to stand out against your traditional Gundam white. Next, we have the Polycaps, and I'm a little disappointed they couldn't do translucent, but I guess if they made Polycaps translucent, they would really tighten up and could cause the thing to be a bit brittle and break. But we've got red Polycaps here that go with the translucent joints here with the Psycho frame. They're a nice color too, and they're much softer, a more subtle shade of red. It's not cherry. This has a tinge of orange, but it's definitely red. It's like a NASCAR red more than like a cherry red. Sticker sheet, very modest. It's only necessity. And what we have are the eyes, the camera for the V-fin, the camera for the B Magnum, and that white piece, I'm safe to assume, probably going to either be used for the chest piece or possibly, since there's double, something with the side skirts. I always remember from hearing from reviews back in the day how they couldn't wrap a certain piece of cycle frame in white, so they use a sticker, which for some builders not very happy, but hey, it's late 2000s. What can you expect? The final and essential piece of the puzzle here is the instruction manual to put the high-grade Unicorn Destroy mode together, and I'm surprised on how light it is. There's only really 3 pages if you really use back and forth. A lot of coloring shots, a lot of detail shots of all the poses it can do, all of the construction, the final pieces of putting it all together. And I gotta say, for a little high-grade kit from the late 2000s, it's definitely got some things going for it in terms of detail. And while it might not be the most complex, and it might not even be up to 2024 standards, it's making me feel a lot more confident that the choice of choosing to not put the cycle frame as a transformation gimmick and let them be standalone was probably helpful in the construction of this Gunpla. Overall, that is the main setup here for the high-grade Unicorn Gundam Destroy mode. Again, before we wrap up, I want to say thank you again to Canadian Gundam for supplying me this kit. I am a lot more excited now that I boxed it up. I know we've all wished there was a transformation gimmick in high-grade mode. Maybe they can pull it off now, but it's not to be. We've got the real grade. Was it the right decision to make 2 separate unicorns rather than one unicorn with a transformation gimmick? I will find that out for you guys. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you later.